Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to a Nikki Uncut. I recently did a bit of damage at a Ulta beauty store. I picked up a ton of stuff. I went on a mission to get as much new drugstore releases as I possibly could. I also ended up going to a local drugstore to pick up the rest of the products that were not in stock at my local Ulta. So this Nikki Uncut is going to be a pretty big mix of testing all new drugstore makeup products and at least new to me drugstore launches. So I'm really excited to test these out. Full disclosure, I have used quite a bit of these already. I have some thoughts, so I'm going to dump these out of the bag. We're going to go through a couple things that I picked up, and then we're going to jump right in and start testing and start creating a look with all these new drugstore releases. And I'm really excited for a few of these items, I'm not going to lie. But first things first, let me give you a little rundown of what I picked up. I picked up a ton of Juviasplace when I was at Ulta, and I do plan on doing a whole separate dedicated video to a full face of Juviasplace. They have some amazing products, and I have to tell you, I did cheat and I've tested many of these products off camera, like I mentioned, and I have lots of thoughts. This blush is a must have, a must get. And if it wasn't for the fact that I have an embarrassing amount of powder blushes in my professional kit, I would have absolutely placed these, probably depotted them, put them in my pro kit because they're such an amazing formula. And you get two huge size pan powder blushes. I mean, look at the size in comparison to my face. You get a ton of product. You get two big full-size blushes for only $18. So their price points are phenomenal, incredibly affordable, and their quality is very impressive. So I definitely will I will be using this in this video. And I also have tried out just once prior to this video, I tried out the Juviasplace liquid blushes. These are extremely comparable to Rare Beauty, to Huda Beauty, who else out there? There's so many liquid blushes at this point that it's hard to keep track of them. The e.l.f. ones, this was also $18, I believe. I might be wrong. Either way, I'll make sure I link all the products so you could check out the prices in case I'm quoting them wrong, but I believe this was $18 as well. Very fully pigmented, very much like the Rare Beauty, but I did notice that this does not get it all difficult to work with. Like, I applied it, it blended out really nice, and you'll see that in a bit when I get to that point. I also have, I have the new e.l.f. powder, but I'm going to just be honest with you, I'm not a fan of this powder, and I don't know if I'm going to be showing you this in this video, but I have been testing it out, and it's a new release, so we'll see how this video goes. We'll see where the wind takes us in this Nikki Uncut. That's kind of the beauty of a Nikki Uncut, is they're not cut. You see all the problems that happen with the makeup application, you see the way they're applied, you see the way they blend out, all that stuff. There's nothing missing from the application. Also picked up the Juviasplace powder. This is the shade White Sands. This is really nice. I'll be using that in this video. I got two Maybelline Superstay Teddy Tints. These are so pretty. And the packaging, can we just talk about how satisfying this packaging is? It's textured. It's like, it feels like it's like a gummy, like a big oversized gummy candy. I love gummy candies so much. Oh my god. There's one, I mean, I could skip chocolate all day long. Give me some gummy candies and I am a happy camper. I am happy. So I also got the Maybelline Super Fluff. I've tried this once off camera. I'll be trying it out again. I do have some thoughts, but I want to see if those thoughts change as I try it in this video. I also have the L'Oreal Paradise Big Deal. Now this was sent to me from L'Oreal. Thank you, L'Oreal. Love, I'd say like 99% of their products. This is a really great mascara, and I was debating on using this one in this video, but I have used it in a prior YouTube live, so I might skip this one today. I already know I love it, and I picked up this one instead to try out because I had never seen it or heard of it. But it's the Maybelline Lash Sensational Firework Mascara, and it looks very promising. I mean, look at the... Granted, this is, layered and layered, and who knows if that's a false lash in there. It doesn't look like it, but that looks like a pretty dramatic claim over there. So we'll test this out. I think this is going to be more interesting to test out because if you've seen all my videos, you probably have seen me use this product at some point. Now, I did also pick up that Juviasplace foundation. This is very glowy, and I should have known better. Juviasplace has a very well-rounded variety of foundations for every different type of skin type. So, you know, they have more matte foundations, they have more like satiny foundations, they have a tinted moisturizer, and then this one's like the glowy one. This is a glow booster. And I should have known this is not going to be the best suited for my skin type. However, I got really excited about this one because when I was looking at their aisle in Ulta, I loved the way the bottle felt. It feels very luxe, and I am a sucker for a foundation that has a doe foot applicator. So naturally, I picked it up. I have the shade 7.5. I have used this once prior to this video, and it's a little overly glowy for my complexion. But I'm going to just call out in case you're wondering, and if you're at home and you have really, really dry skin and you want that extra hydration and you don't mind like a super glowy finish, then I'd say definitely check this one out. Just know that it's not what I'd recommend for us oily people. But beautiful formula. Just, I kind of goofed. I should have known better. I also picked up at a different location, I picked up the Maybelline Superstay Lumi Matte Foundation. I always joke around that Lumi and matte don't go together, but it's a trend that I'm not seeing go away, so we're going to embrace it. And I am very excited to try this foundation. I have had a tons of you reach out to me, DM me, message me, asking me to try this foundation. So I finally got it in my hands. Fingers crossed that I picked a good shade. I have the shade 120 at hand right now, and you know, I'd say I did pretty well, but we're gonna see what it looks like on, because that could definitely change. I picked up another at a local Walgreens. I picked up another L'Oreal Lumi something gel. These are like the highlighting sticks. Now, I also picked up the other one, this formula. They're two different finishes. Apparently one is like a glass finish and one is a glow. So one's gonna be more balmy, I'm assuming. And the other one's more like just like a creamy, glowy highlighter. Full disclosure, I did not have high hopes for this product, but I've tested this out and I've worn it multiple days. It is beautiful on. It is absolutely beautiful on. So I think what I'm gonna do is wear one on each side so I can show you all what the difference is. So when we get to that point, we'll get to that point. Let's just start to kick things off. I also have some Maybelline lifter liners. You all have been talking about these forever, and you've been asking me to get these and rather telling me that I need them. Oh my God, were you so right. These are fantastic from the drugstore. I'm out of breath. I also got the NYX Lip IV. These are like a hydrating gloss, and I have the shade Hydra Honey. I've worn this a few times. It's really nice. It is really, really nice. So I don't know where the lip combo is going to go today. We'll have to kind of see where this makeup looks and like where this journey takes us basically. But let's just get started, because another product I picked up that you all wanted me to try as well. I really try to pick up everything you guys asked me to try. And if I missed anything, leave that in the comments below and I'll definitely film another one of these very, very soon. But I got the Maybelline Grippy Serum. This has 2% niacinamide in it. It's supposed to be a grippy makeup primer. Let me open this bad boy up. And this is going to be the first product that we try out in this video. And this already reminds me a bit of, you know, the original Milk Hydro Grip Primer. But I'm hoping it's a little more lightweight feeling and less sticky. And I could already tell consistency-wise it's more liquidy. So I think I'm going to end up liking this a bit more, because, you know, I'm not a huge primer person over here. Let me mix this up, because I feel like it needs to be mixed up maybe a bit. All right. Love the dropper. Just drop a decent amount because it's a runny consistency. So I'm going to put this all over. Has no fragrance. I do have my Paula's Choice sunscreen underneath right now, so we'll see if this interacts in any kind of bad way. Hopefully it doesn't pill it. I do notice that grippy primers sometimes cannot be, or don't mix very well on top of certain sunscreens that I love and wear. You know, primers can cause a lot of secret chaos with our complexion and especially with our skincare and then with our foundation on top. So the thing about primers, and the reason why I'm not like the biggest advocate for them, is I feel like it's just a lot of gimmicky marketing to sell you a product. And my method has always been good skin prep is going to be the best way to prep your skin. But anyway, I digress. I'm not going to go on a whole long-winded tangent about that. So let's just move on and acknowledge that this feels really nice. It's absorbed pretty quickly into my skin. It's still a little wet up here. It's not pilling my sunscreen that I'm wearing, so that's a great sign. That means I can actually utilize this in my day-to-day life and not be frustrated. Let's see how the foundation goes on top, but it does leave, can you hear that? That little grippy texture. Not bad. First impression is it's not bad. What is going on with the hair? Okay, let's move on to this bad boy, because why not? Let's shake this up. If you've tried this foundation and you have thoughts, I would love to hear them in the comments below. So please feel free to leave me your review, because I'll be doing a first impression on this, and you know, who knows if I'll change my mind later on, but I'm excited to see how this is going to wear. Wow. Consistency is nice and thin. Please do not judge me. I have some old foundation from yesterday still in my painter's palette that I did not wipe off. But this is the texture. A little more runny, as you can see, which tells me it's not going to feel heavy or thick on my face, which is great. And it's up to a 30-hour wear, it says, which is wild. Can we also throw out a little compliment to the packaging? I think the packaging is really satisfying and really cute. But it's not about that. Let's see how this goes on. I'm going to dip into that foundation with my N17, get a decent amount, and we're going to start by moving my mirror closer and starting in the center of my face. Well, I did a good job matching the color. It's a little pale for what I normally would go for, but it does match my actual complexion on my face. Pretty spot on. Undertone looks good. I believe I ended up getting a neutral. Actually, it says 120. I don't know if that's a reflection of the actual undertone. It has like a Y and an N on the back, but I don't know. I'd have to look it up. That was one frustrating thing when I was picking out the shade. It didn't have a corresponding like undertone connected to the shade number, so I had to kind of just guess what this was. And it felt like this was pretty neutral, so. All right, so it's blending out really nice on top of that grippy foundation primer. It feels incredibly lightweight, like second skin, honestly. It looks really natural. Let me see this up close. Huh. Can you see that pretty well? Like, it just looks like it's one with my skin. Huh. Surprisingly, it's even sticking to my nose pretty well, and that is like, that never happens with a liquid foundation. It's usually pretty difficult. I usually have to like pounce and tap on the product on my nose just to get it to stick. So it definitely has some good grip to it. Coverage is absolutely beautiful. Yeah, well, wow, that is really nice. This might be a new favorite. That is really, really nice. Again, if you're a new subscriber, if you have only discovered me recently, my Tuesday videos are uncut for the most part. Every once in a while, I'll throw up a video that's not an uncut, but typically speaking, they're uncut. So if you like long format videos and you don't mind seeing the entire blending process, mistakes, you know, anything like that, then Tuesday is going to be a fun upload for you. But if you don't want to see the entire process, I would say Saturday videos are going to be, they're going to be your cup of tea. Okay, foundation looks great. Really happy with the way that looks. Feels amazing. No pilling. It looks fantastic. It really does. And the shade, like I said, is nice. I'm going to warm it up with some bronzer. But the shade is really looking really good. Let's move on. And I don't have a new bronzer from the drugstore, so I'm just going to throw on something that's relatively new. This is the bronzer and contour camo liquid from e.l.f. I wear the shade light medium, but I also have medium that works as well. So I kind of like go between two of the shades. I'm going to do the dot method, even though it's time consuming. I'm just going to do it. I recently also picked up the new Rare Beauty liquid contour, and they actually specifically call out that they want you to do a dot method to apply the product. and not like a swiping. And I can see why. The product is it's obviously wet, it's liquid. And you do gain a little bit more control if you're directly applying it with the applicator if you do a dot method. So we're gonna copy Rare Beauty and use it in that way. I'm gonna use just the back side of my N17, nothing wrong with that. And just tap and blend this out. I should probably work a little quicker with this formula because it is sitting on top of a long-wear foundation, and that usually means that you're not going to end up with as much time to blend out your liquid products, like your liquid contour or even like your liquid blush, because the foundation underneath is more self-setting when it's a long wear. So even prior to setting it with powder, it's going to end up self-setting and drying down to some extent, and therefore if you don't work quick with your liquid bronzer or your liquid blush, you're going to have a hard time blending it out because it's drying down on top of that foundation pretty quick. I do look really funny right now. I acknowledge that with my contour placement or my bronzer placement, but stay with me. Bear with me. Okay, the e.l.f. is blending on very easy, very nice with that one. I'm going to grab a slightly dirty N16 brush. If you're watching this in real time too, I've had a lot of questions recently about when is my N16 brush, this concealer brush, going to be restocked. It should be about 3 weeks if you're watching this in real time. So 3 weeks from today is the rough estimate of when it should be back in stock and available. So just an FYI, in case you haven't heard me talk about it on Instagram, that's the newest update. So I'm blending this up into my brow bone, connecting it to my brows. And then we'll probably use that brow product next and give it another shot. Like I mentioned, I tried it prior on a different day. I didn't film it. And I wasn't impressed. So we're going to try it again today. We're going to see if my thoughts change. And I'll actually give you my thoughts either way. Okay, so we're bronzed. We're gonna move on. We're not gonna waste too much time on blending out the rest because I have so much stuff to try. I lied, I'm not gonna do the brow product yet. I'm gonna instead apply my concealer. I don't have a new drugstore concealer. If you have one in mind that you want me to try, please leave that in the comments below and I'll make sure I pick it up very, very soon. So for now, we're gonna keep with the drugstore theme, and a favorite drugstore concealer of mine is the L'Oreal True Match Radiant Serum Concealer. I wear the shade, I forget, N3, and it's a really great lightweight formula. I'm almost out of this one. But if you want a nice lightweight drugstore concealer, I think this is a really nice one to try. Doesn't feel thick or heavy. Now I'm gonna let this dry down a bit and actually self-set quite a bit to get the maximum amount of coverage out of this one because it is a bit thinner. And the problem with this one for me is I love it and I love the feeling and I actually love how it wears. It wears incredibly nice. But for me, I need more coverage and I can see the gray popping through my under eyes when I use this one if I don't use it with a color corrector first. So in order to get the maximum coverage, we're gonna let this dry down and self-set. Sorry for the sniffles. Okay. Let's move on now to the Maybelline Super Fluff. Before I do that, I'm going to lie to you. I'm going to grab a little bit of this juviasplace powder. I want to mattify my brows just a touch because I have a lot of sunscreen that I'm noticing has definitely seeped into my brows. And I want to give this product a good like fighting chance. In order to do that on my difficult brows, I'm going to powder the area around them and lightly powder on top of my brows. So this actually has a chance to grip to my skin. Otherwise, it would just slip and slide around and I would be frustrated with it again. So Maybelline Super Fluff. I have the shade dark brown, I believe. And I really had high hopes. Let's try this out again. But my initial reaction, my initial thought was it just didn't do enough. It didn't have enough gripping power to stick to my very thin, sparse brows. And it just wasn't impactful enough. So I'm going to try to finesse this a bit more and get a little more oomph out of it this time. You know, it's okay. But that's the problem, is it's just okay. And there's so many great drugstore brow gels, brow pencils, brow pens even on the market that if it's not top notch, don't waste your money on it. So that's kind of my thoughts on this product. And I just made that a little too thick. But this is the wand. Let me show you it up close. It's a great wand. It's a very promising wand. It's the kind of wand that I love usually for my brow gels. It's the formula that I have an issue with. Well, we're committed. It's not my best brow day, but we're trying. I find the formula difficult. I would say, I don't think my thoughts are going to change. I think that the way to go with any drugstore brow product is going to be still my go-to, my tried and true. It's the e.l.f. Wow Brow. There's just nothing that compares to it. This is definitely not going to be a replacement for that. It's more expensive. The e.l.f. Wow Brow is like $5. I want to say this was $12. I could be mistaken. Again, I will link it just so you can check it out on your own, but just know that I'm going to link it, but I don't recommend it. So I'm using now the tip of the wand to fix this problem. No, just to fill in my brows entirely and to deposit the most amount of products, yeah. No, it's definitely not my best brow day. I think we can acknowledge that. And for the sake of timing of this video, let's move on and kind of call it a day with my brows. You know, it's fine. They could be worse, but they could be a heck of a lot better too. So, I hate to say it, but not a win over here. All right, we have let that concealer dry down a decent amount. I'm going to grab my N14 brush and tap this in. And you'll see it's going to take minimal effort to do so and to blend this out because I let it pre-dry down and self-set. I'm even going to run this on my eyelid as well just to minimize some redness. I did have a teeny bit of concealer on my eyelids prior to filming, and I just placed a little bit of the NARS Soft Matte Concealer just to start this off. But look how nice that looks when you let it self-set and dry down. Not bad, right? And it's not that you have to do that with this concealer, it's just a personal preference because like I mentioned, I want a bit more coverage out of it. So if you don't mind it being a little bit more sheer, don't feel the need to do what I just did. But I do highly recommend this formula from the drugstore. And again, let me know if I did miss a new concealer launch. I don't think I did. I looked at every aisle at the drugstore. I looked at every aisle at Ulta. I looked and looked and looked, and I didn't see any new concealers. So keep me posted. Not that I need any more makeup, but for the sake of trying it out for you so I could test it out so you don't have to, let me know. And that is a flawless concealer blend right there. That is nice. Really, really nice. Okay, I'm so excited to show you this product on camera. The Juviasplace Liquid Blush. I got the shade Soft Tulip, and honestly, I plan on picking up more of these and getting more shades because the shades are so pretty. They have some of the prettiest blush ranges between the powders and the liquids that I've seen in a minute. Like, they're all beautiful. So less is more. I'm going to try to remember that. This is a thicker formula. So it actually kind of like dollops the product onto your skin if you're directly applying it to your skin, rather than being super liquidy. And I probably did it again. I probably added too much. Oops. Yep. Oh well. And I also should have done my method of applying this to the back of my hand first and then pre-blending it and then tapping onto my skin. I've just honestly been getting so excited with this formula that it is what it is. It's okay. It's still blending out nice on top of my foundation. It's not causing any separation. It's not getting patchy. And that's the one thing about the Rare Beauty one. Although I love it and I think it's a really standout product from Rare Beauty and you get a lot of bang for your buck, quite literally, with that product, I do know and acknowledge that it can get a little patchy at times, usually depending on what product you place it on top of. For example, I notice the most it gets patchy when I put on top of like a skin tint. But it can also get kind of patchy sometimes if you put on top of like a lightly powdered foundation, you know? So it just depends. It's kind of finicky in that way. So how pretty is Soft Tulip, the shade? And can you get over how pigmented that is? It is exceptionally pigmented. I'm going to bring this up towards my temple a little bit too and just kind of fill in this area. Get a nice soft, very blown out blush look with this. Now I did go a bit too low, so we're going to go and sweep with the concealer brush. Pick up this little eyelash that fell down, make a wish. And you're going to see the entire process. Okay, now what I want to do, I'm debating between setting it with the powder after I set my complexion and then going in with these two products on top and just being careful and like a little bit more like precious with the application after my makeup is set. And you know, I think I'm actually going to do that now I've talked this out in my head. So let's now pick up that cute little juviasplace powder. They have many shades to choose from. I picked up the shade White Sands. It is a bit fair on me, so just know it's going to end up brightening my under eyes quite a bit, but we can make it work. Tapping in with my N14, the same one. It's okay if it has a little bit of concealer on it. And I'm going to lock in my under eyes. One thing I noticed about this powder is it's very blurring. It has a really beautiful blurring effect to it. Very, very similar to the look and also the feeling of the Makeup by Mario Surreal Skin Soft Blur Powder. So if you're looking for a drugstore alternative, I'm going to go out and say that this would be your closest bet. And it's also, you know, it's extremely affordable. I believe this is $18 as well. I think a lot of the price points of juviasplace for their complexion products was $18, if I'm not mistaken. If I am, it's going to be linked. And you'll be able to double check. So layering under my eye, tapping it in, bringing it up towards my temple. I'm actually going to dust some of this on my eyelids too. I don't think I'm going to be doing a eyeshadow look because I don't have a new drugstore eyeshadow palette or product. So I might just throw some bronzer in my crease just to finish the look. Okay, taking more of that powder. Oopsie, just dropped a lot. I'm going to bring this around my smile lines or jowls, whatever you want to call them. Just a bit on my forehead. And now we're in a really good spot to, actually let me show you up close a little bit. I don't know if you can see up close, but very smoothing. The one thing I will say about this powder is I noticed it's not ultra mattifying. It's more like filtered. It gives you like a filtered effect and a really, really beautiful like blurring, smoothing effect. But as an oily person, it's not going to give you the best oil control. So kind of going back to the fact that like this is going to be a good alternative to the Makeup by Mario, because the Makeup by Mario I recommend all the time for like dry skin people out there because it's not an overly drying powder. Okay, now that we've gotten that out of the way, that disclaimer, let's dive into the powder of the juviasplace blushes. These are the Blushed Rougie Volume 2 is the shade that I got. And I'm going to use my N15 powder brush. And this has been my favorite shade so far out of the two. It's just a soft pink and it goes really, honestly, just perfectly on top of that liquid blush. So I'm going to press this on top, intensify it. The pigment is super smooth and super consistent. So it's not patchy and there's no like holes in the pigment and the formula. It just goes on very evenly. So really just a fantastic drugstore blush. This is something that you're going to see me wear a lot more on my channel and just on like social media. And if you catch me in day-to-day life and in real life, you'll see me wearing this product or this blush a lot. So I'm lightly pressing this on top of that liquid because it's not entirely set. So we're going to use this powder blush to set it into place. But again, how pretty is that? You would never guess this is a, you know, more cost-effective brand, that's for sure. Like this looks like a high-end, beautiful I don't know. What would you compare this to? I would compare this to like the Laura Mercier powder blushes. I've loved those for years. I think they have amazing formulas. I would definitely say this is like comparable to like the OG MAC powder blushes. Basically, you need to try this if you want a good, affordable drugstore blush that you get a lot of product with. So I'm adding that to my eyelid because why not? Going for a nice soft look today, and that is really, really pretty. But how pretty is that? Like, that's just stunning. It's gorgeous. They did a fantastic job. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to add keeping it with the drugstore, I'm going to add my favorite drugstore bronzer. It's the L'Oreal Infallible Fresh Wear. I wear the shade 300. And I'm going to grab a N13 brush really quick, and we're just going to add a bit of soft definition just to finish up my eyes before I do mascara, before we move on to testing the highlighters. So just adding this in the crease, right on top of that blush. Nice, pretty, soft. I have a tickle on my chin. Oh my gosh. That was so ticklish. Okay. Let's finish up the eyes. And just blend this all across. Nice and softly. Just to complete the look. Lots of itching going on around here. I don't know why. Could be the primer, potentially. All right, so that is on. I'm gonna also grab, because it wouldn't be me if I didn't do this. So I'm gonna grab, let's see if I can find an N12 brush. I'm gonna grab my N12 brush, take that same bronzer. Let's just really finish up these eyes. We'll move on to mascara. And then we'll do the highlighter. I keep teasing that highlighter. I'm so sorry. There we go. Okay. Mascara. Now, again, highly recommend this one. I've been loving this. It's a really great formula. The one thing I noticed the most about this formula, though, is you get a lot of lift, you get a lot of separation, a lot of definition, and a lot of length, but you don't necessarily get thickness. And I really like thickness and like a lot of like volume for my mascaras because I have good lashes, but they're very thin and they don't feel like, they don't look thick. So I have high hopes for this one. Let's try out this Maybelline Firework mascara. And let's see what this is all about. I have not heard one person talk about this yet, so I'm excited to see what this is going to be, what this is going to look like. Cute packaging. It's got like grooves on the side. Very, very satisfying. Let me show you the wand up close. Nice size wand. Definitely up my alley. This is my kind of wand for sure. It's a plasticky, okay. Ooh, it's very bendable. Very wiggly. Okay, well, let's test it out. I did not curl my lashes prior to filming, so let's see if this gives me any kind of curl or lift. Okay. Well, I'm not blown away by it yet, so let's let that side dry down. Let's do this side, and then we'll go back for a full-on second coat. I do like the wand, though. The wand feels really nice and comfortable. It's a bit bigger than I initially thought, now that I'm using it. But it's nice. What do we think? This is my better lash eye, to be honest. This side doesn't have as many lashes, so it's looking better on this side than it does on this side, but that's very much to be expected. Comment below if you have one lash side, like one good lash eye and one not so good. Let's try to build up this side. Whew. I do have to acknowledge it's definitely giving me a lot of curl, and it's definitely giving me a lot of length and lifting. I'm very curious to see how this is going to wear, so I'll have to report back in another video whether or not it smudges, if it runs, if it flakes throughout the day. I'm filming this very early, so I'll be able to really get a good wear test in for the foundation and for this concealer. Or for the mascara, not the concealer, sorry. I already know how the concealer works. It's very long wearing, very nice. Okay. I kind of can't stop. I'm sorry. I have to keep going. I gotta do more on the side. It's bothering me that it's not matching up. What do you think? I think it's actually really good. And the more I use the wand, the more I'm getting used to it and really enjoying it. All right, that's actually pretty amazing. What do you think of this? That's some great separation. And I really packed that on and it did not clump. So that in itself is very, very impressive. All right, no more teasing. Let's try both these on. Let's see which one we like more. I already know I could tell you which one did I like. Oh yeah, so I haven't tried the glass one. This is the one I've tried prior and I love it. It's amazing. It's like a beautiful, beautiful highlighter. I do like to pre-blend this on top of my hand like that and then dive in with a brush and then apply it to my skin. And I'm going to really use that method for this too because let me grab a 110 brush from BK Beauty because I already have powder blush on, so I want to make sure that I do not disrupt any of those powder layers when I apply this. So let's do the glow one on this side. Oh, I want to actually mention too, I should mention this. I use this also just recently prior to putting on the Anastasia foundation, the new ABH one, and it looked so pretty because it gave a really nice glow from within, and the foundation actually layered incredibly well on top of it. So look how pretty that is. That glow, stunning. I'm going to use this on the top of my nose. Actually, I'll use this on my bridge too because it looks really cute on the top of the bridge and on the tip of my nose. But really loving that formula. It's fantastic. Super creamy, much creamier than I anticipated. And the color is really pretty too. It's like a golden, nice golden glow. I should also mention the shade. This is Glowy Golden Couture on this side. So now let's test out. I got a different shade too, so this might not match up very well, but I got Glassy Pink Ballet. It's the Lumi Le Glace. And it looks like mine might have melted a little bit, but it's okay. All right, let's grab a different brush. Let's grab I have no more clean brushes. That is not good. Let's grab a pretty clean 109 brush from BK Beauty. I'm gonna go brush this time to the product. Let's warm this up. Oh yeah, that's definitely more glossy and glassy. Let me show you this really quick so you can really see the comparison. So this is the glow, wait, this is the glow one. This is the glassy one. You can see the high shine on the glassy one, and this one's more like a frosty glow. I'm excited. Swiping in here and just tap it. Oh, whoa, woo. That's really pretty. Very glassy. Holy smokes. Wow. That's like a wet shine. This is something I would use in my pro kit, honestly. This is like something I would add on top of like a fully set matte base to bring gloss and dew back to people's complexion. I have some products in my kit that are like this. This is really, really nice. This reminds me of a Victoria Beckham product that I put in my kit because Andrea Ali influenced me to get it. And this is like just like it. Let me show you on my hand too, just because I don't want to add too much to my skin. So, wow. That's exceptional. That is like unbelievably gorgeous. Imagine this on your décolleté, on your shoulder, like the top of your shoulder, on your clavicle, like whatever, clavicle bone. Imagine in this area, this region of your body. It would look really, really pretty if you were going to like an evening event. That is quite stunning. Wow. One more time, I'll show you the swatches. Come on. There we go. So the glossy one and the glowy one. Those are incredible. I'm shocked at how good this is. This is like unbelievably beautiful. Okay, we're gonna finish this lip, or this look, with a lip. Full disclosure, I've already been loving these so much. I've used both of them multiple times. They are such an amazing formula, and they do not move once they're on your lips. I plan on getting more shades. These are just the only shades I could pick up that were in store. So I have the shades Big Lift and Line Leader. I'm gonna go with Big Lift. It's a little bit deeper. It's more like a, can you tell I've used this a lot? It's like a soft, deep mauve on me. The thing about these is so impressive is they are fully pigmented. They dry down after you apply them and they don't move, but they feel so creamy when they go on and they don't feel dry once they're even dried down on your lips. So they're a really impressive formula. Look how easy that is. And it's going to dry down and stay put so long. Like they literally don't move. It's a great color. These shades are so pretty that I picked up. I cannot wait to get more. For this video, I think I'm going to skip the NYX Ivy lip oil. Or hydrating gloss, excuse me, and I'm gonna go with one of these instead. I've been really hooked on these, and I think I'm gonna use this shade for this video and for this look. It's just a really pretty shade. It's a shade 55 Knee High, and these again are the Maybelline Superstay Teddy Tints. These are more like a moussey texture and less like a traditional like liquid lipstick. They have more of like a thickness to them and a creamy like moussey texture. How many times should I say moussey? Look at that. Like that's, it's got like a nice dollop on the end. Okay, these feel really good on. Very long wearing, but not feeling like they're dry at all. They're more like a lip cream. That's why I've been trying to describe them as. I just couldn't do it. Really pretty. I'm loving the look. I'm loving the way the foundation is sitting on my skin. I'm definitely anxious to see how all things are going to wear throughout the day. So I'll definitely have to update you in a future video. But all in all, I'm loving everything that I have applied. I am going to grab a little bit more powder and that same N14 brush. I just need to hit this area right here because I went a little too close in with that highlighter and it's making me look sweaty and not glowy. So hold on. Add a bit more to my forehead and my T-zone. Not bad. Loving the foundation. Let's do a little quick roundup of what I loved and what I recommend out of this drugstore haul. And again, don't forget to leave me a comment below and let me know what your thoughts are on these products. And if I missed any like major drugstore products that you've been wanting me to try, leave that in the comments below. I will definitely film another video for you very, very soon. Let's dive into what I recommend, okay? These, cannot believe how much I love them. Both are outstanding, and I did not have high hopes for these. I just didn't. I don't know why. That's Barry. But these are fantastic, exceptional. Like, I love both of them. I think I'm kind of leaning towards liking the regular glow one a bit more, but this one is giving like high-end luxury vibes all the way. So loving these. The Juviasplace blushes, if you have not tried these, I cannot recommend these enough. These are like a 12, 20 out of 10, to be quite honest. These are so good, so well pigmented, so easy to blend on, and the shades I picked out, I'm absolutely in love with. So both of these, absolutely cannot recommend more, and they're such a good deal. Like, for the amount of product you get, they're fantastic. Loving these. I've already been loving them off camera, so highly recommend these if you haven't checked these out yet. They're a really comfortable, nice formula that Maybelline did a great job on. What else? Absolutely love these. You guys were so right about these. I'm so happy I finally picked them up. I do plan on getting more shades, so stay tuned for that. The mascara is fantastic. I really like it. Now, I'm gonna have to wait and again see how it wears throughout the day, see if it clumps, see if anything happens, so I'll keep you posted. But first impression, really nice, and you know, you can see my lashes, they look really good. I think this is a really good drugstore formula for sure. What else did we try that I wanted to talk about? The powder for Juviasplace, I'd say, is a great powder and a great drugstore alternative to the Makeup by Mario, and best suited for dry skin. Just my opinion. If you're really oily, it's not gonna cut the shine as much as you'd probably want, but it's a really nice formula. The Grippy Serum Primer, really liked it. Really felt comfortable and really nice on my skin. I'll definitely keep trying this out, but initial thoughts is this is a nice, very nice, comfortable drugstore primer formula. So really good, and definitely comparable to the Milk one, but feels much more comfortable on my skin, less goopy and thick, and like it's like gelatinous, that product. But I love the Glow one. Don't get me wrong, that one, the Glow one is exceptional. Now this showstopper, loved it as soon as it hit my face. I knew I was going to be a fan of this product. I will keep you posted on how it wears throughout the day, but my initial first impression is this is such a great drugstore foundation that I am very excited to continue to wear and to continue to test out on my channel. So if you've tried this and you have thoughts, leave them in the comments below. But those are my thoughts on these products. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found it helpful. Don't forget, leave me a comment below. Let me know what products to try next from the drugstore. If I missed any, I'm all ears. Tell me in the comments. But thank you so much for watching this Nikki Uncut. I hope you enjoyed this all drugstore makeup look, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.